வணக்கம் நேர்களே, என்னடா அது இவ்வளவு நாள் நின்னுட்டு பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தான், கால் வலிக்குதா உட்காந்துதான் பாக்குறீங்களா? We are going to do something different today. Okay, we are going to see the speaking test 1. இதுல என்ன வேத ஸ்டூடெண்டாவே ஆக்கிட்டாங்க. என்ன கொஸ்டின் கேட்க போறாங்களாம், பாதி எனக்கு தெரியாது. என்ன தெரியுமோ சொல்றேன், வேதாட்டேந்து நானும் உங்களோட சேர்ந்து இன்னைக்கு கத்துக்க போறேன். Let's get into the speaking test 1.
Thank you, sir. So before getting into the discussion part, I'll explain what is speaking task 1. So, மூணு டாஸ்க் பண்ண போகிறோம். அதில் டாஸ்க் 1 how it is going to get differentiated அப்படின்னு சொன்னால், here it is going to be a 4 to 5 minute discussion between the examiner and the student. So, in the 4 to 5 minute discussion, what you can expect அப்படின்னு சொன்னால், as I said, any one of the criteria from your everyday genre will be chosen and அதில் இருந்து உங்களுக்கு questions shoot பண்ணுவாங்க. It could be about your fitness, it could be about your food, it could be about your likes, dislikes, எதை பற்றி வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். But the prime focus is going to be you. And out of this 4 to 5 minute discussion, based upon your answers, you will get evaluated. So what could be the tips that I can give to you அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, first, இங்கேயுமே உங்களுக்கு paraphrasing plays an important role. When you hear out the question, emphasize the examiner that you understood the question and you are going to respond to it அப்படின்றத நீங்க paraphrase பண்ணி சொல்லலாம். If the question is about what is your favorite food அப்படின்னு வச்சுப்போம், my favorite food is அப்படின்னு ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா, it gives an emphasis that you are going to represent the same. என்ன கேள்வி கேட்டாங்களோ அதுக்கு தான் பதில் சொல்ல போறீங்க அப்படின்றத நீங்க ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் அவுட் பண்ண முடியும். The second tip that I can give you is practice jam. Jam அப்படின்னு சொன்னா just a minute அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Because here it is going to be a 4 to 5 minute discussion where you are going to have 4 to 5 questions இருக்கலாம் or 5 to 6 questions இருக்கலாம். So if you practice jam, உங்களுக்கு என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, 1 minute speaking அப்படின்ற habit வரும். So you will not keep your answers less than 1 minute. So short answers அப்படின்றத avoid பண்ணுவீங்க. Why particularly this 1 minute talking அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, one-worded responses are not appreciated in Ielts examination. So yes or no இல்ல one sentenced answer so நீங்க சொல்ல முடியாது. You have to speak at least a compilation of 2 to 3 sentences. அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறப்போ நீங்க 30 secondsல இருந்து 1 minute வரைக்கும் பேசுற மாதிரி இருக்கும். So இதுக்கு நீங்க ஜாம் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னா உங்களுக்கு அது பெட்டரான ப்ராக்டிஸா இருக்கும். And the third tip that I can give you is start exploring yourselves. உங்களை பத்தி நீங்க நிறைய தெரிஞ்சுக்க ஆரம்பிங்க. Start making conversation and start talking about yourselves, which gives us the practice towards your Ielts speaking. Now let us get into the practice session where I'm going to play the role of examiner and sir is going to play the role of student. I'm going to ask him questions and he's going to answer me. Based upon his answers, I'm going to tell you the right-hand version and how you can modify it, how you can keep it according to the marking criteria. அப்படின்ற explanations நம்ம பார்க்கலாம்.
சூப்பர். என்ன ஸ்டூடெண்ட் கொஞ்சம் ஓல்டா இருக்காருன்னு பாக்குறீங்களா? கொஞ்சம் மேனேஜ் பண்ணிக்கங்க.
I have brought in few questions as I instructed you. So இந்த இடத்துல நீங்க உங்களை சரவுண்ட் பண்ண எந்த environmental questions இருந்தாலும் it will walk under the task 1 criteria. Okay. So similarly, I have brought in few questions which I am going to ask it to the sir and he is going to respond me. So நான் இன்னைக்கு எடுத்துட்டு வந்திருக்கிற ஜானர் என்ன அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, ஸ்டடி ஆர் ஒர்க் அப்படின்றத எடுத்துட்டு வந்திருக்கேன். Based on which ஒரு 4 to 5 questions construct ஆகியிருக்கு and I'm going to ask it with him and he is going to respond to it.
Good. I'll do my best to say as a student, I mean in the sense studying, not as a working. Okay, let's see. Still I cannot match it your level, but I'll do my best actually.
Great. So the first question is, who do you spend your most of the time studying or working with, sir? And whatever it is, explain me on the why part.
Okay. Being as a student, most of the time I spend roughly about 7 to 8 hours in my college with my friends and the professors actually. Okay. Obviously the why is because being it is a final year of my undergraduate, obviously I have to clock in minimum 5 days in a week in my college learning all my subjects.
Okay, that's a great response, sir. You have responded me as a student. So that's actually fit into the marking criteria. So sir, நமக்கு வந்துட்டு first part and the lateral part of the question ரெண்டுத்துக்குமே ஆன்சர் பண்ணாரு. And if you look at his answer, he told us who he spent most of his time with அப்படின்னு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணாரு. And after that switch பண்றதுக்கு why அப்படின்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா அப்படின்னு ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணாரு, ரைட்? So you can do it the same way. Otherwise நீங்க அந்த emphasizing part இல்லாம continuationலயும் உங்களோட ஆன்சரை வைக்கலாம். So for example, I'll present the same answer in the altered way, telling it associated with work. நான் யார் கூட work பண்ணுவேன், எதனால அவங்க கூட work பண்ணுவேன் அப்படின்றத highlight பண்ணி சொல்றேன். Okay. So when you are responding, you can also bring in names and give it as examples, which I'm gonna do it right now. My response to the first question, who do you spend your time most studying or working with and why? So my response towards this is, I spend most of my time working with my colleague Sabarika. Me and Sabarika associate a lot into training programs and workshops and training developments. So I like spending my time most and working with her because myself and she, we both are like-minded, and she's so professional and proactive and organized with her work, which helps me to work efficiently and it helps me to keep less stressed. So that is why I like working with Sabarika a lot. இந்த மாதிரியும் நீங்க கண்டினியூஸா உங்களோட ரெஸ்பான்ஸை சொல்லலாம். அண்ட் ஸ்பீக்கிங்ல நம்மளோட ப்ரைம் ஃபோக்கஸ் என்ன அப்படின்னு சொன்னா your language, English. You cannot switch between your native languages. Yes, நீங்க யோசிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி தமிழை யோசிச்சுக்கலாம், but when you translate it, present it in English. And one more thing here I want to stress is, you will not get any time to think or process information in between the questions. Maybe question கேட்டதுமே ஒரு 10 seconds நீங்க யோசிச்சுக்கலாமே ஒழிய, you will not get any specified time here to prepare and present your answer. Now let us move on to the second question. What kind of things you study or work on with other people and why? So your answer towards this?
Yeah. See, being it as a final year students, one of our key factor is the final year projects actually. So the final year project, being it is a group project, okay, we have a team of 4 people work together.
Okay.
See, we spend most of our time research on how do we get this project done actually. And this project, one of the important project where we do something on AI. So we do a lot of inputs from people from outside the world also. We have connected with some of the professors from abroad, where we also take their inputs too actually. We are in this project, we have almost, we have done about 75% of the work. Final 25% of compilation yet to be done, which we are working on it actually. So we spend a lot of time together to make this projects as one of the best projects actually.
Okay. That's great, sir. I really appreciate your answer from the students' perspective. And this was a wonderful response to the question. But, tappu sonna paravallaya, sir?
Please tell.
Okay.
Because only the students will, know exactly what it is.
But I want to highlight one point here. If you look at the marking criteria, namakku important or marking criteria irukku, which is lexical resource, which means kekra kelvikku badal solradhu. Here the question is, what kind of things you study or work on with others and why அப்படினு கேட்டிருக்காங்க. So where we have to emphasize எந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களுக்கு நம்ம மத்தவங்க கூட associate ஆவோம் and எதனால அப்படினு மட்டும் சொல்லணும். If you look at sir's response, he was highlighting about his project also, which is out of the detail. So அது lexical resource அப்படின்ற point evaluate பண்றப்போ you might lose your points at that point.
Oh, good to know actually. Any other feedback for me?
Other than that, there are no corrections in that, sir. Only the exclusion of the detail.
Okay.
So because lexical resource அப்படிங்கிறது one of the important marking criteria.
Great.
So marking criteria வச்சு தான் நம்மளை evaluate பண்ணுவாங்க. It is not about the detailing, it is about the marking criteria. Yes, we have to include detail, but அதுக்குன்னு ஒரு constraints இருக்கும். So அந்த constraintsக்குள்ள நம்ம detail வச்சுக்கிட்டோம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, then you can be a pro of speaking when it comes to Ielts.
Obviously, Instagramல பேசினா மட்டும் போதாது, IELTSலயும் மார்க் வாங்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. நான் சொல்லலப்பா, அவங்க சொல்றாங்க. அடுத்ததுக்கு போலாம் வாங்க.
It is not like that, sir. You are great at speaking. You are really being an inspiration for many people. I am just talking from the perspective of Ielts.
Got it. Yes. Let's move on to the next question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to hear out my response towards the question 2, so what kind of things do you work or study with other people and why? So if you want to hear out my response, it would be like, usually I associate with other people on any work that involves research or teamwork where I need extra hands to carry out that work, which helps me to reduce the pressure and which helps me to divide the work between us, and it also helps me to brainstorm and gather others' idea, which helps me to certainly deliver the productive and efficient work. Now let us move on to the third question, which is about, are there times you work or study on your own? You can either support why or why not. There are two options here. If you are a person who really don't like working alone, then you can pick why not and you can emphasize on it. Illa neenga thaniya work பண்ணுவீங்க and you love doing it அப்படினு சொன்னா you can emphasize on the point why. Let us hear sir's response towards it.
So the question, it depends on why or why not. It depends on what kind of things I do. Say if I wanted to focus and study something, I really wanted to do it on my own without any other, people's disturbance actually. Rather, if I wanted to do a projects which need multiple people inputs, I look for, working with people actually. So it depends on, what kind of input I needed from people. If there is, I don't need any input. Only thing is, if I have to study, I spend time on my own focusing on that and get it done.
Okay, that's again a great response, sir. But the thing here we can do is restructuring of the response. Sir's answer absolute right in the chair. But how we can restructure it அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, according to the question asked. எங்க question நமக்கு first வந்திருக்கிறது என்ன அப்படின்னு சொன்னா, are there times where you study or work on yourself? So first நம்ம answer பண்ண வேண்டியது இந்த question தான். So we can emphasize. இப்போ சரோட ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் வச்சு பார்க்கும்போது நமக்கு இப்போ சரோட ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் வச்சு நம்ம பார்க்கும்போது he can do both அப்படின்றத தான் சார் நமக்கு ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. He can work on his own or else according to the task he can get support also. So first we have to emphasize this point. அதுக்கப்புறமா we have to address the question. Yes, is there a times we work alone அப்படின்னு சொன்னா எந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களுக்கு and எதனால. After that we can go ahead, illa you always prefer group works, group studies அப்படினு சொன்னா why அப்படின்ற point emphasize பண்ணலாம். A little restructuring will give you extra band score, sir.
Please, how do I restructure that?
Yes,
give me the feedback actually.
Great. So I'll present the answer towards the question of my version, so with which I can present you the restructuring part. Okay, the question here is, are there times where you study or work on yourself and why not அப்படினு கேட்டிருக்காங்க. If I have to respond this answer அப்படினு சொன்னா, my response would be yes, definitely. I would like to work all alone for the task whichever that requires utmost attention and focus. Because when I work alone, I can deep drown myself into the thoughts and I can present myself better. I also consider working alone, it lessens the distraction and it helps me with work on my own pace of level comfort. So with which, yes, there are times where I work alone depending upon the task and its requirement.
Any other feedback actually for me? ஒன்று மட்டும் கரெக்டாக சொல்லிட்டீங்க, டீச்சருக்கும் பப்ளிக் ஸ்பீக்கருக்கும் என்ன டிஃபரன்ஸ்னு. டீச்சர் தானே, கேட்டுக்கலாம் வேற என்ன ஃபீட்பேக்னு. any other feedback for me?
No, so for that particular question it was absolutely fine. All it required is a little restructuring.
Great.
Because answering it according to the question format அப்படின்றத தான் நமக்கு task achievementல பார்ப்பாங்க. So if you miss out, obviously you are going to lose your band scores. Because many people might think and get confused that நான் நல்லா தான பேசுறேன், I am fluent, right? But then why I am losing my marks அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு. Where you lose அப்படினு சொன்னா all at these places.
நேர்களே பார்த்துக்கங்க, நோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க. சாரே இப்படி பேச முடியல அப்படின்னு நினைக்காதீங்க. சாருக்கு தெரிஞ்சது பப்ளிக் ஸ்பீக்கிங் தான், இது தெரியாது. அதனால இதை கிளியராக நோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க, which is important. Okay, all the way why we are doing it, we want to ensure that you get the right thing actually. It is just not about speaking, it is about doing the right thing actually. Okay, clear? It's just not about only English, you are answering it right to the point. That's what she made it actually. Okay,
yes,
yeah,
exactly right, sir. It is not about speaking, It is a combination task. It is speaking where you're going to answer the question. So உங்களுக்கு ரெண்டு concentrations இருக்கு. And that is your IELTS. With that, let us move on to the next question, which is it important to like people you work or study with? You can emphasize on the part why, because it is asked there. Let us hear out Sir's response to it.
Yeah, undoubtedly, it is, according to me, I like to work or study with the people whom I like. Because the reason is, the moment I like someone, obviously the time what I spend, it's going to be good. Because the way how our mind works is, I'm answering as a public speaker, as an influencer, as a NLP trainer, okay, here, okay. See, this is how the mind works. If you like someone, the kind of energy which runs on your body is different. Obviously, the output is going to be different because you receive the message in a right sense. Otherwise, if you do not like the people whom you work with, you always think what he wants to say, what is the suspicious in that. So I love to work with the people whom I like.
That's great, sir. I really appreciate your answer, and I want to highlight one point here.
Please.
You brought in the perspective of how the energy is created, right?
Yeah.
That is so wonderful, sir. Because IELTS speaking, it is all about you, right? So according to your profession or according to your knowledge, you are free to infuse your personal experiences, and that Sir's response is one best example to it. So அவரோட experiences வச்சு how our mind is getting affected when we collaborate அப்படின்றத பெஸ்டா சொன்னாரு. So I really appreciate your answer, sir.
For that, at least I scored.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay.
With no doubt.
கடைசியா ஒரு क्वेश्चனுக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 4 தான்ப்பா ஸ்கோர் பண்ணிருக்கேன், 2 3 அவுட்.
It is not like out. You are getting scores for that also.
Okay.
But compare பண்ணனும் அப்படி சொன்னா the final answer will be your highest.
That's great. That's great.
Okay. So after hearing that, I guess you might not require any other examples from my end because that is one best suitable answer to the last question.
Great. Okay. So let's move on to the next one.
Yes. So this is how your part 1 will happen. Part 1, it is a simple discussion between you and the examiner where you are going to shoot it up with questions upon you. உங்களை பத்தி ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு ஜானர்ல questions இருக்கும் and simple உங்களை பத்தி உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருந்தா it is going to be easy task for you to answer towards all those questions. It requires little preparation and little research about you. இத பண்ணீங்க அப்படினு சொன்னா your part 1 is sorted. And if I want to highlight few other things, fluency அப்படின்றது எப்ப வரும் அப்படினு சொன்னா when you start acting at places. உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சத கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா பிரசன்ட் பண்ணீங்க அப்படினு சொன்னா fluency தானா வரும். Don't play with words at this place. Yes, நான் உங்களுக்கு writing the vocabulary plays an important role னு சொல்லிருப்பேன். Unless and until if you're confident about using any words, don't bring it in the speaking part. உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச vocabulary வச்சு உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச words வச்சு construct the sentences in the most elegant way. Your speaking will be sorted.
Yes, the fluencyங்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு வேல்யூ ஆட் பண்ணிடுறேன். ஆக்சுவலா fluency when it will come is your conscious mind will become subconscious mind, then you will get a fluency. Just ஒரு சின்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள், நீங்க காரோ பைக்கோ டிரைவ் பண்றீங்கன்னா okay, so well there will be assuming that you are driving on a traffic, you don't look at where is a clutch or where is a brake or where is the accelerator. This is because over a period of time your mind is being tuned and you are fluent enough to drive without any thinking about it. Whereas if you drive it the first time, what will happen? Is it a brake? Is it a clutch? All these things, look at it. Same thing should not happen. For that, you need to practice.
Yes. And that is the beauty of IELTS. IELTS, the prime focus is you. And இதை உங்கள் ஸ்பீக்கிங்கில் எடுத்துகிட்டு வரணும் அப்படின்றதுனால தான் in IELTS speaking, the prime focus you-ஆ வச்சுருக்காங்க. All the questions will be shooted only on this factor, which is definitely going to be easy for each and everyone. உங்களை பத்தி proper understanding இருந்தாலே your IELTS speaking is sorted.
Good. So with this, tada bye bye. See you in the next session, which is speaking task 2.